So this is Tinkercad. It's the program I use to create models. You can see me dragging in a green wedge shape from some available shapes over on the right. This is just a website that this program runs in, essentially. And now I'm clicking on it and changing the size, the left to right size, if you will, just because it was a little small. And then I can drag the work plane around to see different angles. And then I just dragged a new kind of work plane in and put it on the front angle. And then I'm dragging this text kind of thing in. I'm trying to keep up with the video, so I have to rush a little. So now I've put this like generic text model on top of the front facing plane of the wedge. And now I'm changing the height of the text so that it doesn't come out quite as far from the wedge. And now I'm just screwing around because I don't know what I'm doing. And here I'm trying to select the text, and there I've done it, and now I can change what it says. So I try a few different things before finally settling on something. And obviously I can change the font a little, and I've even been able to put Japanese characters in here. I made something for Skylar's tutor, Bada Sensei, that had some Japanese characters. And I settled on ASD. Nice choice. So I could obviously add any of the other shapes on the right. I can put holes in things. I can change dimensions. Can do a whole bunch of different stuff. This is just a real simple example. And here I'm trying to count the number of those little squares. Each square is a millimeter, and I'm trying to make sure that the text is centered. I think there's probably some command to do that automatically, but I don't know what it is. And again, I'm just kind of futzing around here. And then I like it, so I'm going to export it. And then first I think, oh wait, I think I want to group all the items together. So I select everything and click this little group button. I don't think I had to do that, but I did it. So now I'm exporting it, and you can see I'm choosing the STL format, and that's what my slicing software uses. And so now the model has been exported from Tinkercad, and it's on my desktop. It has that silly name simply because that's what the Tinkercad name gave it, or Tinkercad, that's the name Tinkercad gave it. This is Cura, my slicing software. There was another model in there that I had already been working with, so I had to delete that. And then I double click on the ASD thing, and it opens it in Cura. And I can kind of rotate the plane around here too, and I could change the size and rotate it and some other stuff. Here you can see the measurements of the object, and those correspond to the measurements we set in Tinkercad. And then I click the slice button. It slices it, tells me about how long it'll take to print, and then I say save to file. And it's a G-code type file, and I'm putting it in a folder where I put all those files. So that's done. I'm done the slicing, and there's some other settings for slicing if you want to put some supports on it for things that kind of have an overhang. And you can't see what I'm doing here because how I did the screen, but I was back in my web browser, and I've gone to the Octoprint web page. Octoprint is the software that runs on that little Raspberry Pi computer I got at Christmas, and it interfaces with my 3D printer. Here I'm just clearing some announcement messages. And it hadn't actually connected yet, so I'm kind of waiting for it to actually connect to the printer. And now it has connected, or now it's connecting, and you can see the webcam view, and I'm putting my hand in front of it. So that's what my little webcam sees. That's the camera that makes those time-lapse videos. Here I'm going to the G-code folder to select that G-code file that I just created with my slicing software. And there it is, ASD G-code. So I've imported it into Octoprint, and now I'm clicking the button to print it. And so it's going to get it loaded, and the first thing that has to happen is the printer has to heat up. So it has to heat both the nozzle where the filament is pushed out and the bed where it prints this. And now here is the time lapse of that item being printed. I wish it was faced the other way and you would have been able to see the actual ASD on it because it's on the other side. So here is the finished product sitting on the 3D printer plate. It's kind of tiny, in part because I didn't want to use a lot of filament and didn't want it to take too long, and in part because I didn't think through the measurements. Also have a candle burning, so I have to make sure I don't catch myself on fire. So I'm going to ran out of storage space on my phone. Anyway, I was unclipping the plate, which is now off. And then if I kind of flex it a little, because it's flexible, usually it lets me pop the model off. Gotta hold my phone with my chin. Oops. Hold on. And this is the downside to printing small things. They can stick. There we go. Anyway, so there it is. Personalized 3D printed little thing. Pretty cool.